Appointment booking tools like Calendly have really become an absolute standard these days, and if you work in the Microsoft ecosystem, you might be using Microsoft Bookings, but you probably also know it's one major drawback. You can't really get the data out of it easily. That's why today I've brought you a little workflow that shows you how to get data out of Microsoft Bookings using Power Automate and Make, so you can transfer it into any tool that works with Macan. You don't have to spend a single cent to do it. I'm Isabel Pickert, third generation at Pickert GmbH, and yesterday we celebrated our 44th anniversary, which was a pretty cool event. We automate processes always thoughtfully and with purpose, using targeted AI where it truly benefits you, so you can reclaim time for what really matters. I'll just start from the beginning. I've already pulled up this booking page here. Later, we'll also book an appointment here for demonstration purposes. In the backend, booking looks like this. Under integration and APIs, you can see yes, this works with Power Automate. You need this SMTP address later to integrate it. We can go ahead and copy it to the clipboard, and now we move on to Power Automate. As you can see, it's a very simple process consisting of just two modules. We have the trigger, a new event, and we have the action of adding a row in Excel. Let's take a quick look at the trigger. This is about the bookings page. You need to connect your Microsoft account and then paste in the SMTP address we just copied. And basically you can ignore everything else. We don't need to configure anything there. For the Excel table, we need to prepare something. Normally, I prefer to work with Google Sheets, but since we're operating in the Microsoft world here, I've stuck with Microsoft and Excel this time. As a link between everything, I've created a very simple table, date, email, name, and phone number. The data will simply be inserted there. We could also capture more data if we wanted to. You'll see that in a moment once it's run through, but for now, that should be enough for us. So we connect our Excel sheet. You need to select the location and then your sheet. And very importantly, which I just didn't show you, also need to format the table you just saw as a table in Excel, and ideally give it a meaningful name like bookings data. That way you can identify and link it, and then just like you might know from another automation tool, you can map it. I also formatted the time here and displayed it in a format that's easy for me to read. And using this little lightning bolt here, you can access the input parameters that Microsoft Bookings provides you via Power Automate. There are also 53 more parameters here, so feel free to click through them. And with that, we're done on the Power Automate side and can move over to Make. Why Make? With our Microsoft version of Power Automate, our Office 365 version, unfortunately, we can't use all the premium features of Power Automate, for example, no webhooks, no HubSpot. Accordingly, I first have to shovel all the data over to Make and can then process it there very conveniently. You can see here as well, it's a very simple workflow. We have Microsoft Excel and are looking at newly added rows. We create or update a contact and then also add the engagement now in the form of a note. I just quickly click into it. Here, I simply have to specify the engagement type as note, the note body, and a free text that I can define myself. I could also add a note here that I know from my Google Sheet or my Excel table. And then, of course, I have to assign the whole thing to the contact ID, because otherwise we wouldn't know where it belongs. With that, I'm already done, and I'd say let's just fill out a form. I'm now here in the form and have selected the date and time. I'll leave the rest blank and book it. In Power Automate, the whole process has already run through, and now we can look at the data that has come in. Further down here in the body, we can see all the data that came along. And then I map them in the Excel table to the corresponding fields. So everything looks good here. Let's also take a look at it in Excel. Yes, the data has arrived in the Excel table, and then we'll switch over to Make and manually trigger the process here. Of course, scheduling would make more sense at this point. There, it ran through without any issues. Let's take a look at it in HubSpot. and you can see that the note has been added to my contact here, so it worked. With our test contact here, we've completed everything, and we're able to export the data from Microsoft Bookings, which is actually a very, very closed system to the outside. Thanks for tuning in. If you're interested in more content like this, take a look up there at the videos we've linked for you. Give us a like and see you next time. Bye.